Hello, Hari. I have reviewed the All Notes page, and I have some problems with it. And the problems really respond to categories and also the layout here. This I don't think is a good thing. This right-hand scroll, I think it should just be an entire page. I don't think we need a right-hand scroll. I think that's a very poor design. I don't think we need any kind of scroll whatsoever. Instead, the notes can just go on and on and on, and it can be the whole page. Um, the other problem that I have here is that the notes aren't really designed by date. I know we have August 5th here, but what's the time? What time did I take this note? I think time matters, especially when we do most recent. So when we do most recent, August 7th, it shows repeatedly, but the time also, I think, should be on these. So display time as well, please, here. The categories. So if we're running a category search, it should also display in category format, right? Like, in other words, mathematics, if that's the category, right? Then that should show under category search if we browse by category. I don't know that it does. Let me check all categories, sorry. And it does not, right? So we clearly, when we browse by lesson, which is our default, it defines them by lesson, right? And we can click on these, I'm sure, and open up the lesson. Let me make sure that's true. It seems to be true, but it seems, Hari, that we're opening up the notes page of the lesson and not the lesson page itself. Um, and I think we should open the lesson page itself. That is a problem, I think. So when we're clicking this, it should open the page that comes from the lessons. Okay, so this page should link to the lesson page, not to the notes page, but to the lessons page. The lessons page will have a My Notes on it, right? But we should open the lessons page for this when we click it. Okay, we should also have the date and time of these. That's right. And this part's fine except for this. I do not like this. This needs to change. The scroll feature doesn't work and it's not good. In addition to that, if I go into mathematics and I try to filter by a subcategory, subcategory doesn't work. So subcategory needs to be fixed. Subcategory doesn't seem to work. I'm going to try a keyword search. And it does seem that keyword search works just fine. So we have a few layout issues to work with, and I think I've told you those here. I'm going to repeat them again just so you understand them. We need dates and times, please. We need another format because this scroll format here does not work. It's not good enough. The subcategories don't really work. And when we do the category search, the notes need to be organized by category. These are very important fixes. Now let's talk about notes sharing. You know that we have user notes here. User notes is an interesting function because it allows us to take a note. This is my note to myself from Hari, because I'm logged in as you, and I'm going to save the note. So I just sent myself a note from you. Now I'm going to go into my user notes, and I should say, this is my note from myself to myself from Hari. I see that my note has been listed and recorded. This is a cool feature, but we're not going to use it exactly like they have it designed here. We would like to have something else actually designed, something that's relatively similar out of our All Notes page. So in our All Notes page, we're also going to want to have shared notes. Okay, so we have My Notes and Shared Notes. And then in Shared Notes, we can have My Shared Notes and Other Shared Notes, right, from other coaches. So there'll be a couple categories here as well. This is important to recognize. There'll be categories for these notes. However, when we come to this, by the way, I want the minus sign to collapse. I know the minus sign does not collapse right now. I want the minus sign to collapse. So everything should be collapsed at the beginning. There shouldn't be anything expanded. So make sure that the minus signs collapse. Okay, this is very important because we don't need to show anything when we're displaying these things initially. All we need is the actual title, and then they can take it from there. But for this, when these are collapsed, we should also have something next to it that allows us to share. So if we, let's say it's an S. Let's say this is a plus sign to expand. And let's say we have a small s. And the small s says, share my notes. And if we share our notes, then we can type the name of the person into this list or select them from our contact list and share our notes with them. So if we click, let's say there's a little S that we create. We have a plus and we have an S, and the S is for sharing notes. It would allow us to select a member from our contact list, and we can send that member our notes. Our notes being on Singapore Math here. And so all of these notes on Singapore Math would be sent to the user. That's important. And that functions to allow us to share our notes with other people. And I think it should also show up in this user notes column, this user notes page. I think it's a good place to put it. It shows us that we've shared our notes. But we're also going to need to categorize this as shared notes, right? As notes, not as some other type of post. So we shared our notes. And so if we're going to share our notes with somebody and we're going to record it here, it's going to have to be categorized here so that we know that it's a shared note from a lesson, not a message. Right now, these are just messages. So in our user notes, if you will, we can have messages and shared notes and received notes. Messages, shared notes, and received notes. We'll also have this integrated into the All Notes page, by the way. So they will be integrated, but we're talking about a few core steps here to allow us to share our notes. In allowing us to share our notes, next to the plus sign, have an S, and then allow us to send our note for that particular lesson to the user we select and record that in user notes. I think that's an easy first step, and that'll get us going to where we want to go. Thank you.